Okay. Let's see how everybody reacts to the absolute lore bombs I'm about to drop on them. To these massive truths that are about to be dumped on everybody's heads. Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Aetheres, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loporrits a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryl tells us you've obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I've news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I'd rather hear them first. To what revelations did Hydaelyn's Elpis flower lead? 2 hours later. 7 hours later. 3 days later. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nidhana's theory. We're an entity through sheer force of emotion to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our star is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Meteion, or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred, drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Aetheres. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteion. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteion, and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are 2 conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteion escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vinar, the woman who had become Hydaelyn. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Hydaelyn and the Vinar you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Hydaelyn possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Aetheres, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteion? Yes, 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 yes. The Vinar I know would never give that up. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteion. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Space! Then communing with Hydaelyn must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Montoya have any luck with your investigation into the ethereal sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arenvold and other echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the antitower. Master Montoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would be most likely some form of apparatus for observing the ethereal sea, built closer to home. The forbidden area down below! Sorry to interrupt, We've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. La 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 la. Oh, I think I have mostly emotionally recovered from the devastation earlier, which is good, a little check-in. I feel as though I had a nice rest and some Archon loaf in the time since. Energized, my ether stores are replenished. To think the Crystal Tower of the First is capable of such feats as sending one soul into the distant past. The events you witnessed and helped shape may yet hold the key to forestalling the final days. I'm reminded of dear friends in a future I unmade, whose selfless efforts saw the 8th umbral calamity averted. In this timeline, at least. Too much has been sacrificed for us to abandon Aetheres now. Short story again! Which also actually involves Omega. I'm like waiting for them to bring him in. They might not, and that's totally fair, but... After sending Groha and Estinian back to Garlemald, I stayed in Locus Aminus for a time. Being an imperial province, it was already in turmoil before the onset of the final days. You wouldn't believe the difficulties we had overseeing the evacuation of the villages we visited. I have faith the detachment we left behind will continue our work and shepherd the people to safety. To what safety can be found in a world coming to an end. Master Martoya has suspected for some time that the Forum has been constructing a new facility for the purpose of surveying the ethereal sea. Of course, as the custodian of the anti-tower, which would presumably be rendered obsolete as a result, she has had a few things to say about that. Nothing that should be repeated in polite company, you understand. Oh, Martoya would be the best person to vent with ever, you just know it! Have a drink at the end of the day, rant about fanny pack. Oh, it'd be so good. After you left for Garlemald, I went to Labyrinthos and tried to reach Hydaelyn using the Elpis flowers. Alas, my attempts were in vain. I can only assume that she spent a vast amount of her power in the confrontation with Fandaniel, and is presently unable to communicate. Indeed, as her presence left my body, I could feel how faint it had grown. I hope you don't mind me staying behind while you attend your big meeting. The roster reminds me a bit too much of the supremely scary tribunal in Ishgard. You'll forgive me if I keep my distance. Father has granted us the opportunity we've been waiting for. Though we know not what information, if any, they intend to reveal, there's only one way to find out. To the rostra. Well, that was a much quicker response than I was expecting. Nice to know our efforts on the Magna Glacios didn't go unnoticed. At first, I wasn't sure what to make of Hermes and his motives. They're the worst and he's the worst and he stinks and he smells bad and his stink got on everything in the whole universe, Estinian. That's why you should always shower, but also, don't betray your friends. Sorry, continue. But it's like we discussed at the Great Work. When faced with the harsh realities of life, some seek the release of death, others grow defiant. They fight. Either way, it is our right to choose. 'Twas Hydaelyn's commandment that in the event Zodiac should perish, the Loperates were to deliver the people of Aetheres from harm. Though that be the limit of their duties, they possess knowledge unparalleled of the great expanse and the means of its traversal. Should they be persuaded to assist in our efforts to reach Meteon, we would do well to heed their counsel. That was everybody! Alright, let's go see what secrets are contained in the coils of the Nautilus shell, aka the Rostra, here in old Sharlayan. The Forum is in session, and as such, the Rostra is closed to visitors. They told me to come here. A son of the 7th dawn. Oh, very well. You may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. Well, fine. I will leave my staff out here, but I will not be happy about it. And especially so Are they gonna, like, actually make me take it off? Probably not. It'll just be, like, for the convenience of the story beat. Oh, wait. We gotta go to the back over here. I just now, for whatever reason, I've run through here a ton, but I just noticed this motif with the, like, waves slash nautilus shells there. It's pretty. It's also exciting to see that there are still people who are at this point in the story. I've been going so much slower than a lot of people because I've been voicing and exploring, but, I mean, people have had trouble logging in and all kinds of stuff, but you definitely don't have to rush yourself. There's still so many people, no matter how long it takes you, or even if this is years down the road, who are enjoying this and playing it. Okay, off to a good start. This is the peaceful reflection music, so you can tell that maybe this won't be a terrible cutscene, at least at first glance. Yeah, rethink everything you've ever done or said, Forchenault. I see you.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter.
Siren.
We are here to listen and to learn. But if the forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends.
I trust you, Alphino. You do you. You strong and smart now.
Of course.
As long as it's not the Crystal Braves again, you learned from that. So yeah, do it. Go for it.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll say it 1,000,000 times.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence.
I don't even know if I actually want one of those outfits anymore. It all depends on what the forum does by the end. I mean, who am I kidding? I do still want one, but it definitely doesn't have the allure it once did.
The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn at their request on the Great Exodus.
Yes, please and thank you.
You may enter.
Hey, it's us. Oh, I'm so proud of him. I am so proud of him. That shot, it was just so perfectly framed. Yeah.
On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat.
I am still curious, though, about what their plans are. Maybe they're going to talk about it here. What their plans are for the rest of the planet. You know, they said they're not going to deal with the shards, but they've only done anything, it seems like.
We have informed of the refugees' new arrangements. Sings your praises as well.
For Thavnair.
As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Yeah, you all got a secondhand text message from Venat, aka Hydaelyn. I knew her, like, for realsies, as a person. You will tell me everything I want to know.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
Correct.
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety.
I had wondered, I mean, there's just so much stuff, right? Some of the parallels even between, like, Saint Mosien's and then the, flora, I guess it'd be the flora portion of, there's a specific person the wing is named after in Academia and Eider. But it seems like a lot of their facilities have been to, like, take stock of life and existence and all kinds of things, even as we've seen them in game. Whether to just, you know, cultivate and use for their own purposes or for something like this.
Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn.
Okay, there we go. So that's why they reached out to Thavnair first.
Khan was foremost among these. But since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
Cool. All right, we are getting the answers.
You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
You had best have.
As many as we can.
And how many is that?
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Well, but we've made a lot of peace recently, so you're not just gonna leave various people here on this planet when we're deciding what life is worth preserving or not.
To the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
Are they trying to make another, like, ship, like, Nooncrep fad? I mean, I didn't think it was such hot goss. This seemed like the whole reason we went to Garlemald.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct.
What, it's like incredibly limited space and they
This
can't make it
arc,
back again?
as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today.
Okay.
However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
The round trip will take too long. Which is why he was in such a hurry to try and rush them to the teleporter in case they were able to use that as another source. He still should have checked it out though first.
Propulsion, once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem?
What if we're smarter than all of you and we just fixed it?
We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
Hey!
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication.
Yes, I did think it was weird that they would abandon something that important, especially if they
Far more
did.
convenient, I suspect.
If they did make some kind of connection with her there, right? That's like a huge thing for just Matoya to be guarding it.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
Which will be... Oh, to take it to space to destroy Medion! They're never going to accept that. They are never going to accept that.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
How do we even prove to them?
Delightful as always.
Montache, you're the best. You're the best old man.
Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself.
I think he's playing devil's advocate to try and get us to prove that we could do something or show something.
Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective?
More sirens going by. It's spicy tonight.
What we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration.
That's right. And Alphino was incredibly respected at his time in the studio, and is still talked about today. So, that in and of itself, I think lends more credence, right?
Have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Monteshane, yes! Lead the way! Lead the way! If Louis Swan can't be here to do it for them, you do it. You're their grandpa now.
Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
I mean, what do they have to lose, right? Like, nothing. I think there are a few who still didn't have their hands raised, but I see most.
71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it.
Hey!
Forchenault, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state.
Yeah,
Bear
chillins!
in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Yeah, chillins, go see your dad's ship that he made and make it better than he ever could have. If he'd only let you in and told you about the whole thing.
Very well.
Suck it. This portion of the story is called Suck It, Forchenault, and it's one of my favorites.
Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Not because I'm saying that it is this particular just one cutscene has been so amazing that it rivals any of the other ones that emotionally devastated me, but just because this is very satisfying to witness. Na, na, na. Suck it, Forchenault. My affinity for espionage may have earned me the title of Archon, but I was completely unaware of the Form's plans. There may have been clues here and there, but had I been of a mind to look for them, but contemplating that possibility only serves to further wound my pride. Not that anyone could have realistically surmised that their brilliant stratagem was to build a giant ship, fly it to the moon, a still larger vessel in truth, and use that to travel to another star. Even now, the whole idea seems positively absurd when spoken aloud. Of late, I have seen no signs of the Loporrits, this being their first opportunity to experience the wonders of Sharlayan. The potential for misadventure is nigh infinite. Perhaps if Midgard-Solmer was still alive, in the traditional sense, that is, he could have offered to help the vessel attain the necessary speeds. Then again, there's no guarantee his contribution would make enough of a difference to matter. The further we pursue the mysteries of the universe, the more I struggle to comprehend the fortuitous nature of time itself. We measure and quantify it based on observations of celestial bodies, such as the sun and moon. But from your account, it is unclear whether the ancients viewed time in a similar manner. I mention this because while Venon knew the final days would reoccur at a defined point in the future, she presumably had no way of knowing exactly when. Even so, the completion of the Form's preparations to escape to the moon, aligning so closely with the advent of the final days, is surely no coincidence. Mysteries on mysteries on mysteries, I'm a little vexed that we've yet to learn of the Form's replacement for the Anti-Tower. Though I expect that in time, they'll share that with us too. And with Master Martoya, if they've any sense. Whew! I'll admit, bringing up the issue of the Forum's incomplete arc was more than a little daunting. They were, to their credit, quite open about the current state of affairs. What was even more surprising, though, was when they took Forchenault up on his offer. While I very much take issue with the Forum's approach to selecting whom to save and when, they're not wrong for wanting to minimize potential conflicts. Fortunately, if this plan of ours actually works, the Great Exodus itself will become entirely unnecessary. That was Forchenault speaking. No, sorry. I'm a mature adult. I can do it. Let's go to Forchenault. That made me way happier than it probably should. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was, admittedly, thinking on my feet for the most part, but since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteion, in the spur of the moment I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the arc as a way to work towards both objectives, simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the ether burner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at the least, the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an ether burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. We know a lot of smart people from all over, so I believe that we can do this. As Father seems so eager to help, maybe we can have him educate us about the ether burner. I'm gonna have to do fart noises for a really long time if that's the case. As instructed, I shall take you to see the ether burner. Meet me outside the Archaeon. I trust you can make your own way there. I should have just stuck with a fart. So, the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? And that's also why they're having all sorts of stuff ferried down there and everything. I mean, it's the hub of everything they're doing, right? I'm happy we get to go back to Labyrinthos. I need to do more exploring and stuff around here. I kind of peeked in to do a couple of the fates, but I did notice that the first couple zones, it's really unfortunate, because it does feel like most of the fates, there's not as many as I would want kind of in this front portion of the map that we've been privy to with a lot of this. So even at Thavnagar, I was trying to do just some earlier on the one side of the map that I had before we went on in the story, right? But there just wasn't, it just like, weren't a ton that popped in that area, and sometimes there'd be big, long expanses without any fates happening. So I'm glad that we get all the maps uncovered now. I almost said uncryed because I was reading her name. Do they intend to carry everything in the Archaeon to the moon? They said they'd started loading scientific records and biological samples, but do they really need all of it? It seems so long ago we first set foot here. Yes, it does, girl, but it has also been. It's been like 30 plus hours, I think, at this point. Where once we were refused entry, we are now welcomed as guests. It's a testament to you two beautiful children. Among the many and varied documents sent to the moon, I did chance upon several inventories made in the Archaeon. Mayhap the Forum believed such records would provide insight into the intricacies of clerical duties. Regardless, the Loporrids did not consider them worthy of more than a cursory glance. That we have been granted permission to enter the lower levels is proof of our increased standing. Would that they had been willing to confide in us sooner. It has been many moons since I last visited Labyrinthos. As vast as the archives were back then, they've only continued to grow in the days since. Some would surely object to the Forum allowing foreign elements to have the run of their secret facilities. We should count ourselves lucky. I don't understand the appeal of reshaping it to look like the world above. Make your peace with what it is, or go outside if that's what you prefer. No, we're gamers, Estinian. We cannot go outside. It's not that easy. Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archaeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophaline take you to the medial circuit, is what it actually was. The medial circuit. There should be the... Yeah, lift in the back. Alright. I was very concerned because I couldn't figure out how to get back. I was trying to get back there to see if I could attune to that aetheryte, but I think, technically, since you were trespassing, you're not allowed to at that point. I'm well aware there are more important things than research right now, but I feel it is paramount I carry on as normal. Anybody else have any? Oh my gosh. I thought those were our peers, but it's actually a Sharlayan and a goblin just walking. I have sent your associates again. My gosh, reading is it's becoming very difficult. We've had a lot of stuff to do today. There's been so many emotional moments. I'm fair worn out, but I want to keep going very bad. I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha, on the other side of Mariolo Agronomics. Actually, there is something I have been meaning to. No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. It can't wait, Forchenault. Because if it's what I think it is, it's the only thing that could redeem you in my eyes. Ask me how to talk to your children. I will tell you. Oh, I didn't expect something this cool. What? Things have certainly taken a turn for the chaotic, haven't they? Not that it affects my work, really. For until Labyrinthos has seen its purpose fulfilled, we must keep it running. We'll keep it running forever. This is super cool. Not to presume overmuch, but you've the air of an outsider about you. If you are indeed new to the area, then I would be more than happy to answer any burning questions you might have. What do you do here? I'm a Skyweaver. Now, I know what you are thinking. Surely you mean Skywatcher, but rest assured I did not misspeak. As you may have guessed, I do not watch the sky, but weave it. We, in Labyrinthos, are not subject to the natural world's tempestuous vagaries. Instead, we are subject to mine. So, should you like to keep things sunny, do not cross me. Okay. What kind of place is this? Here we have Logisticon Alpha, a facility designed for the explicit purpose of controlling both air current and the environment's moisture content, thus allowing us to manipulate the weather itself. By releasing vapor from our underground waterways, we are able to form all manner of cloud, including those capable of producing precipitation. Air currents, meanwhile, are caused by a large fan-like device located at the top of the facility. The specimens and materials located in Labyrinthos are of paramount importance, and it is critical we maintain an environment that supports their survival and longevity. Furthermore, this structure serves as the gateway into the central circuit, where our most highly classified research is conducted. Access to said area is restricted to those who've obtained express permission from the Forum. Okay. Rojanson. I don't know if that's how you actually say that name, but I do really like it. After all that waiting, the Gleaner delivered a counterfeit. I'm hoping to have them refund me and find the genuine article, but I worry that time is fast running out. Pilfa Dalfa? It's an excellent name. Hey, little friend. My colleague was meant to help me transport some equipment, but he's still nowhere to be seen. Honestly, is he going to make me wait until the world ends? I doubt we can go into any of these, right? Probably not. That would be too much to hope. Oh, Mograil. Just kicking back. I've got no idea how a gleaner is supposed to make ends meet when the world's in a state like this. I have business at Aporia, if you wouldn't mind letting me through. Well, certainly, provided you have the requisite documents. Any more conversations I can eavesdrop on? No, okay. This whole area is really fantastic. All the details in here. I'm sold. I was asked to adjust the temperature in here. Apparently, some find it too stuffy. I concur. You might want to do something... What? You went so fast! You might want to do something about the humidity too while you're at it. Haha! Got it. I had to go fast, but I got it. I wonder what this place is actually for. The fields we passed along the way brought back memories. A Ferndale. Unfortunately, we were never blessed with such abundant crops. That's his home that was destroyed in the wars and kind of sent him on this, vengeance path. The further underground we go, the more surprises we find. We must be close to the central circuit, which is where Sharlayan's greatest secrets are held, if the tomes I perused told the whole story. On our journey here, I was filled with an inexplicable sense of elation to see vegetables other than carrots being cultivated. Why, it near brought a tear to mine eye. Knowing the Forum, even the people working down here are probably kept in the dark about the true purpose of this place. Oh, there you are. Having words with Master Forchenault by any chance? Yes, and he almost did it good, but not completely. He didn't quite make it there, but almost. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here, being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Ah, that's what all those little things are for! Water is drawn in from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. In case you didn't talk to all the NPCs. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. 'Tis all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But, having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Lopperates in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind neath the moon's surface, each unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Oh my gosh, is this confirmation? That the architecture and everything and the Nautilus and everything really is connected like I thought it might be in the Secrets of Sharlayan video I did? Or are they about to crush my hopes and dreams? I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I still think that it's completely valid to see them as interpretations of the same phenomenon in nature, not necessarily something that specifically was knowledge passed on, right? By an ancient, by Hydaelyn. But it just seemed too on the nose. Ever since Hydaelyn unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheres, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus, but that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Oh, okay, alright, that's like, kind of, not really. Never mind. The Lopperates have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable. That is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions, and will have free rein to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust, your trust. You don't have to prove anything to this man. You are not worthy of them, Forchenault, and you know it. Then let us proceed. Let's go. I have to always be careful when doing that because it's very likely I'm gonna smack my microphone and just punch my microphone straight and just right in it. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Take me there. What's it like here? Ooh, like in Eureka! These sort of barrier walls. Did I miss? Hold on. No, we still have not made it to the Aetheryte. This is it! The Central Circuit! We might finally have the chance to commune directly with Hydaelyn, provided we somehow manage to succeed where Sharlayan's finest engineers have failed. Still, it won't hurt to have a look. No, no, no! I was trying to click on Atlas! No! Sorry. Dang it! The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokul Dankul, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. No! No! I missed everybody else's dialogue. I'll have to get it in the next replay. Oh, it looks like this is a dead end. Where do we go then? Oh, the stairs. Okay. Okay. All the details, they still just get me. We're this far into the expansion, and I'm still just so pleased, honestly. There's the big whirly gig. I got the magic stick! I'm 90! We did it! Made it! And we have Lilybell! Oh, I can't wait! This one is so cool. I'm actually really excited about this. Places a healing blossom at the designated location. Grants 9 stacks of Liturgy of the Bell. I think they changed that name. I don't think that used to be what it was called. They changed the name! It used to be called Lilybell in the media tour. Liturgy of the Bell. Interesting. Lilybell made sense because it was kind of like the lily flowers. But this has a kind of fun, I don't know, priestly, holy kind of feel, right? Which I do really like. Probably can't go in, huh? That's okay. Can I look out through here? There's ether current! Exploration pays off. That is pretty amazing down there. Here, hold up. We'll go out and then we'll try. And then we'll use it. We'll take a look at it. It's so pretty. Woo! It's so shiny! Oh, I like that little scroll work that's kind of going around it. I hadn't even noticed that previously. Oh, so nice. Capstone ability is really the only big, like, major, really unique thing that White Mage got, but that's okay, because White Mage actually has felt very good to play this expansion, especially with some of the rebalancing and that split between pure healer, shield healer. It definitely feels like a lot of the stuff that I have in my kit I have to use, and I can respond to things with recouping health that shield healers can't, although, of course, shield healers can absolutely reduce more incoming damage than I can, which is, again, I think a good balance overall. It really is like a little town! They said that the workers that were here worked and lived here, so it makes sense to have, you know, an actual kind of location for them to live and their residences to be built in. And they're very similar to, like, the Idleshire, the colony, with the round buildings. I wonder how a rabbit got in here. And why would anyone put a hat on it? The joke's on you, Paul Tassain. Oh, you're talking about... I see. The little buns. I was like, joke's on you, Paul, to saying rabbits can't wear hats. Ain't no hat on this head. There's so few that we can wear. This is the... It's not Grey Google. It's one of the Sharlayan Dungeons musics. I think it's the same one that plays, oh. That's what it is. The Anti-Tower. Careful walking through this area, outsider. The Scatine are ever watchful of the goings-on here. One wrong move and it could mean your eyes. I just... Oh dear, did you believe me? Let me in the buildings. Ever since I was at Idleshire and the old colony, I have wanted to know what those buildings would have looked like inside. Oh, I want to know so bad. Let me go in. Don't think about those wretched tomatoes. No, you're doing it again. Stop. Huh? Oh, forgive me. I was speaking to myself. Pay me no mind. Those wretched tomatoes? Which ones? Oh, the aetherite's in some water. It's actually really pretty, though. Ooh, topiaries. Frog! Sorry, I really like the Paroko. I don't know, does anybody else just find them so incredibly endearing? I just find them really endearing for some reason. And I think we might be in the home stretch here. I think we still have a good hunk of hours ahead of us, but I think this is like the last, what I would consider to be the last portion. We need to keep going down. Oh, we're here. This is it. It is pretty. Hee hee hee. Okay. Skenris. No. If we do that, there's a chance the mechanism won't function at all. We'd best rethink the design from scratch. Friends! He looks lost in thought, although it seems he's hit something of a stumbling block. As they all just watch Kokol. Is he talking to himself? Surely the Forum hath already petitioned the aid of the Loporits, given their familiarity with such technologies. Yet strange that they wouldn't be able to build it, right? For a closely guarded secret, you can see practically everything from outside, even with the magical barrier surrounding it. I was expecting the Skysteel Manufactory, but instead I find the village smithy. While many of the facilities within the central circuit seem to be visible from the upper levels, the more secretive work must be carried out behind closed doors. He hasn't even realized we're here. Or perhaps he has realized, but just doesn't care. As we all just stand here watching this one Lalafell. This is the man we seek. Do not try to startle him. Hey, bud. We're here. Can we help? Do you need some help with stuffs? It's raining underground? I guess they did say they make clouds and stuff, right? No, so that it simulates and will water all the plants.
Damn near lost my eyebrows.
What a gruff little Lalafell!
We'll be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think.
I also love that he has the mullet hair. Incredible.
Yeah! I mean, Master Forchenault, what a
Don't worry, Kokol. I have a similar reaction when I see Forchenault's face.
Lost enough already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
We're here to help and do what Pappy Forchenault couldn't.
Not seen you lot down here before.
Yeah, well.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility
My gosh.
that they may have insight.
So passive-aggressive. Some of them are smart, but It's a slim chance any of them can help us.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Alphinaud putting on a brave face.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
What a dream!
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb.
I like the probably in that. Probably won't kill you, but we don't know for sure.
It ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient.
Well, let's get ready to crank out that 6%.
6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Okay, Coco, calm down.
Hast thou consulted with the Loporits?
Calm down, little buddy.
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer.
Okay,
The
what if we just
propulsion
stick...
systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive.
What if we just stick, like, a bunch of primals in there? Can we find the, the Heart of Sabik and just stick it in there? I mean, granted, I guess it did contain a really bad spell, Ultima, that, would have destroyed everything, but maybe we can channel that power directly into this ether burner situation here and do a little tie-in.
To convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Forchenault is getting his just desserts at this point. The thought of a bunch of little rabbits standing around Forchenault being like, "What a cute, teeny, tiny, toy boat you made," is actually the best thing ever, as he's just like, "My whole life I've taken myself very seriously. I told my father that I would make my own way." And apparently my way was a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say.
Yes, exactly. Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology. You're trying to drive me mad.
Coco, you gotta make it work. If you're the genius I assume they think you are. Oh, maybe is this what takes us to Corvus?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allagan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ins like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through.
Well, good thing you have the last inheritor of Allagan blood here with you.
Soul that knows how to make it though.
Well,
we were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
oh, yes you do.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with.
It was only used for, like, specific technology or specific things within it, components.
Drive cores from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need.
Could we harvest any from Ozzy Slaw?
According to the gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Sure they'd make it out alive.
Like the cream of the crop? I've never heard it abbreviated to "for the cream" before. Now I'm gonna just start calling some of you cream, and it's gonna be weird, and I am gonna laugh every single time. I just want you to know that.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Are they gonna take us back into the raid? Like the areas of the raid? What? You want me to go and fetch the whatsits? The White Raven's ghost. It haunts me. This sounds like literally anyone else could do this. This, none of these are perfect, but... I guess this first one? You want me to go and fetch the, whatsits?
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
I mean, yeah, somebody else can do it. We cleared out all the enemies in there.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option.
What, just send all of our allies to go harvest them?
If we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Oh my gosh, they've made link shells canonical. Alphino has entered the group chat. Hello everybody, quick question. Who's got adamantite shards? Anyone?
What's all this?
This is what teamwork gets you, Forchenault.
We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Oh my gosh, title drop of previous expansions?
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Amazing, I love it! It's also just great to see.
And dispatch our finest at once.
It's also just great to see all of the connections we've made across so many lands coming together to have real relevance, you know? Not just be little things that we passed through and they were done, but to actually be a part of the tapestry of what we've accomplished in this world, of what we've seen, the memories we've made, the people we've met. They just did such a good job.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-foot expedition myself.
Group chat's all ready to go.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
I mean, again, Azislaw comes to mind.
Such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists.
Or enthusiasts!
Magical artifacts of Allagan design?
Serena!
The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all.
That's true, because with the empty and stuff there as well, or I keep calling it the empty, the burn there as well. I mean, it's big, it is empty, but in this case, the burn, they do have, I mean, their sacred site, but as we found out, there were parts of, you know, Allagan make and technologies there as well, so.
No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Oh, I just love this. When you help people, they help you in return. Maybe not always, but it is always more worth it. It's always more worth it to help one another, which we are now proving to Forchenault.
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics.
Sacred relics?
To summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1.
Now I'm just imagining all of our turtle friends being like, oh, what kami should we give them?
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for
Thank
the
you,
work
friends.
Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking. And I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Sharlayan before you know it. Start mixing the group.
Sigurd has left the group chat. Sigurd took a selfie of himself with an empty pint. He's on the way.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
That's what happens when you build bridges instead of burning them.
Just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way.
That's right, Sharlayan. Not so much better than everybody else, all on your own. Huh? Just look at everybody. Look at all the people we've met along the way. And each other. Real players. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Forchenault. This really is the suck at Forchenault portion. And I'm thriving. My crops are watered, my skin has cleared, What serendipitous irony that the remnants of the seventh umbral calamity would become the keys to mankind's salvation. Never more certain have I been that Master Louisoix watcheth over us from the ethereal sea. Considering how much of a fuss he made at the time, I don't see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. Is that Alphino? Does he have something to say about it? There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ilsabard contingent, and in many ways it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Well, but we done did the work. We helped them out with their problems. Again, we, overcame hurdles. We got to know one another. We made peace, sometimes even through conflict. First the Telophoroi, and now the final days. No one can accuse the Ilsabard contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't all so committed to the cause when we first set out. But after seeing the example set by you, Alphino, and the others, the change was palpable. They couldn't help but believe. Though Bahamut is long gone, the internment hulks are far from safe. It could be much worse, of course. They won't have to fight their way past Mericidian dragons, nor is there any danger the Elder Primal might be summoned again. Even so, I dare say there are still a fair few elegant creations and contraptions remaining to bar our friend's way. I only hope that Grandfather watches over them. Time and time again, it seems that elegant something or other are either the cause of the solution to our... Oh, sorry. Sorry, everybody. I had my first cup of coffee for the day. My brain's still getting back into... We're warming up currently in the voice acting. I gotta have my my little warm-up period here as we get back into it. Time and time again, it seems that elegant something or other are either the cause of or the solution to our problems. To think the self-same materials that once launched Alamud will now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon. There's a poetry in that. There is! There is! I'm confident that even the deadliest of elegant defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their names as a certain warrior of light. Hehehe. Okay, we got everybody, I think. Get this little friend. Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting me hopes up just yet. It's times like these we're reminded of how famous or infamous Alphino has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single link pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Who can Crow be referencing? I mean, we do know that Ejika, right, was back on Eureka, so maybe, and there were some ties there, but I'm curious. Oh, here, Alphino! Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Okay. Okay, Kryle. We will do you proud, I promise. Meanwhile, in Ul'dah. Oh no, this kind of worries me. I thought we were going to go talk to Forchenault and have him be like, I made a huge mistake. And then we'd go, one more time, Forchenault. Okay, yeah, we'll help you fix it now. Pippin!
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make.
Hey! Everybody's coming together!
Brightest of our immortal flames, and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and brass blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guild.
Gosh, Papashan.
We require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials.
They've brought everybody together. Everybody's here.
Yes, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the stone torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
Can you imagine if he was just like, no, I won't.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade, clear the way.
It just makes me so happy that they didn't leave out. I mean, of course they couldn't, right?
I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults.
But I feel like they could have easily gone the route of like, oh, we don't want to harp too much on the original stuff. Nobody really wants to go back to ARR or anything. But, I mean, honestly, that's where so many of us set out on this journey. So to bring things full circle, to see how over the patch cycles we've affected change in these nations, we've dealt with issues facing these nations, and then to get to actually, like, see them all now assembled. Even people like Stinky Lolo Rito, who's kind of the worst still. He goes on the... We've got our good boy list, and then we've got Stinky no good boy list. So that list is where I would still put him comfortably, because I do not condone needlessly hating on Lalafell. I actually personally think they're very great and very cute, and I like them very much. But if Lalafell has facial hair, you best be a little bit skeptical about them. You better be like just a little bit, because most of the time, most of the villainous Lalafells they put in this game have some sort of dastardly facial hair. We need, like, a new heroic Lalafell who just has the most magnificent handlebar mustache, and then we'll all fall in love with it. I believe it.
Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it.
Make some money and things. Have fun.
The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldah's best efforts may be for naught.
Aww.
And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth?
A realm reborn.
That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Ul'dah will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future.
Especially when we come in. Ah, this is so perfect.
17th in the line of Ul. Bid you good luck and Godspeed.
One, she has come so far, but two, the fact that this whole thing, right? This whole game and like where we start in 2.0, all sort of began with this calamity that had happened and how fractured and how at odds the world had become. And, you know, everybody had rallied together to try and prevent it, but been unable to. They'd faced, I mean, really their own world-ending thing. And as you wander around the starter zones, you see the ruins, the remnants of that devastation. You see how the land has been so drastically altered. And now to see that when faced with this next calamity, rather than giving up or letting those divides happen because of us, because of the Scions, because of so many others, we have instead, again, built bridges. We have created a world that can withstand and face even something as monstrously overwhelming as yet another apocalypse, but like a real apocalypse. The one to end all other ones, you know? Ah! I think a lot of the characters we just saw are various guild leaders, group leaders, story members, or story questers, all kinds of things. In Gridania, that was such a good shot.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses.
Well, you got archers and lancers.
Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
If your frontliners just never die, then you won't have to worry about it. It'll take you a little longer, but... Alamigo! They do share the border.
Might I suggest taking us along?
Along Baelsar's wall. They share the border with Alamigo.
Commander
And this
Hext,
is...
what are you doing here?
This is where Lys and
None of the
Papalimo
shards in
started, you
Girabania
know?
are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbours a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
And Minago!
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Are our deficiencies so plain to see?
They're not deficiencies, it's just what you excel at.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the scions assigned to the Shroud.
One of... Aww.
I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I have to say, I wasn't super sold on Lys's journey in Stormblood for many, many reasons. Many of you have probably heard me talk about it at various points, and I still think that some of it it feels kind of weird, that transition from Ida to Lys and everything else, and all of that. So all of that aside, I do actually feel like here, I am really getting a sense of the full picture payoff with her, right? The fact that she has grown from this person that was living in her sister's shadow, who, you know, had run from her homeland. I mean, she had to, right? It's not like she was a coward and she ran, but who had lost touch with her own roots, with who she was, who had kind of floated around to various places and, you know, always kind of looked for what she herself wanted, and then literally assumed the identity of her sister and wasn't even able to be herself. But to now see her as herself, as somebody who has found a place that she believes in as her own in this world, who has stepped up from that kind of flighty, carefree girl, which I still love. I love that energy. But to be a leader, to be somebody who I think isn't just following her sister's footsteps in being that kind of figure, but has become a leader of her own make and volition, I do think that's actually really beautiful, and I do really like that they brought her here for this scene where she could say, I've spent time here, and I know your people, and, you know, I'm not pretentious, I'm not, you know, nothing like that. We literally came to help, and that's what matters. And maybe it's a little extra special because I started in Gridania, so I got to meet her and Papalimo first. So, I mean, they are still near and dear to my heart. Oh, yes, I am happy for her.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Oh, right in the heart! They stabbed me right in the heart with that line. I'm just tearing up even just watching people work together and mobilize and try to combat this together. This whole expansion has just made me one big teary mess. The shift in music to add in a bit of the choir, the organ, perfectly matches the Curthin switch. Oh, I love it. And then the drums in the background that give you that sense of, like, the drums of war to some extent, and...
There you are.
Oh, are they at Horshafon's grave?
We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
Yeah. Oh. Oh, what a beautiful shot. Dragon? Dragon? Oh my god, did Hraesvelgr finally come down? By all the gods, did he finally stop moping and has he come down to face the future? Please, please, my beautiful, beautiful boy, come down from the clouds. You ate your girlfriend, she wanted it. But now you gotta see the future her people can have because of what she did. I am vibrating with excitement right now. I need every dragon possible on the screen all at once.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the
Hancock.
Honorable Lord Labyrinthos himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
Confederacy pirate friends! Those two definitely a couple. Sorry, I ship everybody in this game. I have no remorse. I don't care. Kojin!
What a surprise this is.
And Sorbonne!
And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Oh my gosh! Are they bringing the four lords in? They've always been one of my other favorite little areas. I love the kami, but I especially love the animal spirits. I love that temple down there. All of their little personalities. It is, again, Miyazaki film-esque in the sense that it's got that kind of charm that, I don't know, I love anything that's ever, like any anime that's about spirits of the natural world or kami or, you know, nature spirits and entities. I'm always just like, just keep giving it to me. Just keep giving it to me. Just keep giving it to me. I want more of that. Please and thank you. Okay, I think these are still the same dialogues we had? Yes, yes, okay. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, could use someone who knows a thing or two about Allagan technology. Hey, you there! A lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. Ha! If only Master Kokol knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. And if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Agreed. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Sharlayan Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah, that lot needs all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Yay! I shall endeavour to provide Master Kokol with whatever information he should require. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get the ether burner performing any better. If you lot don't come up with the goods, we're buggered. Okay, well, let's hope that's not the case.